Hey Western, this is Angel from Hear Me Out, and you're listening to 94.9 FM, Radio Western, or streaming on radiowestern.ca.
About ready to jump on the decks with what you expect. Underground hip-hop, college radio tradition. Breaking records, cutting and mixing. On Tech 12's giving you what you're missing. Educating, entertaining, best of know your history. Curating carefully with weekly delivery. Getting in depth with interviews, not just questions. Conversations with real hip-hop, music and talk. This is Chase March, what you thought?
Listen only over cause my word is my one. I have a greater mission, I hope that you listen.
For the real tracks and rhyme. Word is born.
Listen only over cause my word is born. You have MCs dropping bombs, that's incredible.
Chase March.
Yo, that kid is nice. Listen only over cause my word is born.
Autism, a spectrum disorder. Ignorant ones criticize us out of order. ASD, a complex condition. You might want to learn something. So listen, everyone's not the same. We're all different. Some advanced and others don't have intelligence. There's no need to judge. Don't be an irritant. You need to have patience. No need for militants. Come off your high horse. Be considerate. Don't look down on one's disfigurements. Why laugh at one's speech impediments? That's nasty. That's non-relevant. They have feelings too. They're not instruments. Passive aggressive. That's the equivalent. Peace and love. Magnificent. 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 You are more than who you are. Self-belief can make you go far. You are more than who you are. Look up in the sky, you see the shining star. You are more than who you are. Self-belief can make you go far. You are more than who you are. Look up in the sky, you see the shining star. There's many cases of spectrum disorders. Child disintegrative, we all gotta live. Please don't take it as a negative. Be positive if diagnosed in your relative. Keep striving, keep surviving. On top of the waves, keep riding. World challenges, some surprises. Neurobiological like CDD. Similar cases, EEG. Another mystery, PPD. Pervasive development disorder. This is lyrics from the lyrical talker. Autism, right in the border. Changes to the brain, Asperger's syndrome. Complications, cell chromosome. Disfigurement of the bones. You are more than who you are. Self-belief can make you go far. You are more than who you are. Look up in the sky, you see the shining star. You are more than who you are. Self-belief can make you go far. You are more than who you are. Look up in the sky, you see the shining star. Some have excessive compulsive behavior. Many turn their back on them without giving them thought. You can't expect the score points, you deserve more. Gentle-minded ones, they can hold a fort. Extremely clever, some are self-taught. It's good to be their backup, unlimited support. Do the things from the heart, helping and sport. It doesn't cost to help with respect. Affiliate with networking, time to connect. The weak we protect, I hate the word reject. Negative names, time to deflect. And come correct and put the wrong in check. You are more than who you are. Self-belief can make you go far. You are more than who you are. Look up in the sky, you see the shining star. You are more than who you are. Self-belief can make you go far. You are more than who you are. Look up in the sky, you see the shining star.
Weaving life with dexterity and undertones. Adverse synchronicities, bringing serotonin. No cloning, do me in my own like bowling. Just own it, don't loathe it. Don't settle for a limit, you could buy for the stars. Sun-kissed when I feel the abyss. I feel at home when I meet it with risk. I put my soul in it wrong when the edges are in dust that I miss. I beat the corner, the pain is a gift. I just paint with that same sinners. We've been trying to find a lane and I'm trying to find a guide at the light to be staying in it. Drop this on the day I'm in bliss. I'm tamed, the change is a gift. No, the change is a gift. The memories and some people in love. I watch them fruit. I escape to pen. started when steps when I was younger, thought my wings were just settling crests and view best. I was striving to be better, pretend more than this rap race. I'm uncaged, remolded gold medal, cold kettle, let it flow and grow and script beveled. Script sipping, I'm better now that the pills pedal die. But the shame of your grotesque ways, so alive, now I hold my space, now I hold my space. Hold my way, live, man, rushing out the violence. This time and inside the gift, reprise, pressurizing like a diamond's kiss. Change, minimize the holding cost. You can't imitate the bold in us. It's in the soul of frost, the life test. Got to rock with it, and through the north I can walk my giftedly with rocks and wit. The memories and songs be born in love. I watch them fruit. I escaped to pen and descend in the books I read in Hues. Got me dancing in the mood. Uncaged the burden, saw it through. And I said it, I don't regret it.
Broadcasting live from the world tour with Muhammad, my man. I hope that y'all understand. Conquering land ain't part of my plan. Put my forehead all in your sand. I put my heart in the palm of your hand. I make art and they call it a jam. You play it loud in your car and they call you a fan. Carve it in your skin, now you a stand. I arrived with a wandering band and climbed out of a van and held the mic like a wand in my dominant hand. Assume a confident posture and stance. Erect a record that we chopped in advance. Damn, how many times I gotta kid it before they finally admit they kinda fit it. Been shining for a minute, only if that's a symbol for infinite, and I'm too consistent. I got my Parker on, we doing windmills. I'm past the freezer.
Let's bring that back. Oops.
Broadcasting live from the world tour with Muhammad, my man. I hope that y'all understand. Conquering land ain't part of my plan. Put my forehead all in your sand. I put my heart in the palm of your hand. I make art and they call it a jam. You play it loud in your car and they call you a fan. Carve it in your skin, now you a stand. I arrived with a wandering band and climbed out of a van and held the mic like a wand in my dominant hand. Assume a confident posture and stance. Erect a record that we chopped in advance. Damn, how many times I gotta kid it before they finally admit they kinda fit it. Been shining for a minute, only if that's a symbol for infinite, and I'm too consistent not to be considered. It's inconsiderate, I promise that I'm not offended. I'm dope for dope's sake, cool being me in my own space. What they bought, instead I fed the kids. I never rock with the corporate, I don't sell it. I ain't in the crowd shopping for a better chick. I'm all about the penmanship and I'm a specialist. See, the music that I make, it ain't about escaping. I take a look at the world and made it, reshape it. If I could chop a beat break based on my imagination and make my conversation align on it adjacent, and a room full of strangers, crying congregation, why wouldn't I modify the whole arrangement? I'm inspired by the most amazingest things. Marginalized teens writing their name on trains. I'm rocking chains with a piece on it. If it's beast, I lead, gon' try to beast on it. It's for America's least wanted. The day's coming that you all hate. Y'all can't escape it like police want. Yeah. 1, 2.
They say if I can make it here, homie, I can make it anywhere. Cause coming up from the bottom's never really fair. You gotta pay your dues, and people interfere and try to test you, putting gases in your atmosphere. But I'm an astronaut, also an engineer, and part magician, how I make your troubles disappear. That's how I persevere and face my inner fears. Cause when it's cold, a man can freeze without his winter gear. I got my Parker on, we doing windmills. I'm past the freezing mark, in fact, the wind chill. It's been a cold winter, but now the summer's here. I do my thing, king, these are my wonder years. I'm going Fred Savage to find my Winnie Cooper. Came from Regina, y'all, and moved to Vancouver. But now it's time to get it, welcome to my show. It's off the beaten path, we take the side road. This is the place to be, we getting live with you. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. So give me 5 fingers and put them high with us. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. This is the place to be, we getting live with you. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. So give me 5 fingers and put them high with us. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. Been drinking fine wine, I got that cheese pizza, a social butterfly, cause I'm like, nice to meet you. I live that wild life, a heavy hitter clan. I roll with eager beavers, cause we don't give a damn. This is my habitat, it's natural selection. Survival of the fittest, an honorable mention. Only the strong survive, out here it's kill it will. The concrete jungle versus the people that deliver skills. 10,000 hours with it, that's when they say you made it. I'm retrofitted when I kick it, love reciprocated. The flow is mathematics, my mind regenerated. My style is underground, but I stay elevated. I'm always moving forward without no hesitation. I try to break these borders, it's constant elevation. On cloud 9 when I rhyme a sign of dedication. We sleep with one eye open, cause that's our education. This is the place to be, we getting live with you. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. So give me 5 fingers and put them high with us. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. This is the place to be, we getting live with you. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. So give me 5 fingers and put them high with us. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Never lend rope to a friend that cannot cope. Always drink straight on the rocks, then I smoke. Walk into the spot block where the lights dim, requesting a jam for the DJ to spin. I keep my hands up, I'm not afraid to grin. And just like T-Pain, all I do is win. All the lovely humans vibing to the beat. Speaker waves, laser lights, and some moving feet. I'm completely conscious, acting like a freak. Sway my hand across my face when you stare at me. You're blowing up the wall, girl, let your body speak. Reverse Pangea, and you can come to me. Over there's the crew, Def 3, in fact, a chandelier with bottles of boo for the whole team. Smoke is purple green, bridge to the queen. Just to make it clear, the party's over here.
This is the place to be, we getting live with you. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. So give me 5 fingers and put them high with us. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. This is the place to be, we getting live with you. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer. So give me 5 fingers and put them high with us. It's going down, fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Cool breeze, we a strong wind. Work that Mickey D's, chasing the wrong M's. Deep like ocean, you sea level, we 3 levels higher. No cannabis, analysts, manuscripts, documented, problem centered, clumsy, the way I drop a sentence. Add another one to make it poetic. I'm God without trying, it's kinetic, embedded in my genetics. I'm original, him edit. Can't grow if you can't be corrected. 365 with it. God had to guard you, but he died with it. That's another jewel. 23 scientists predict my future. Those are chromosomes. Poetic, so I wrote a poem. Magnetic, and she get it, and we going home. Digging my style, I'm thinking out loud.
Get addicted to my diction, I write prescriptions. My audio's guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Just now learning the shit that we taught.
Get addicted to my diction, I write prescriptions. My audio's guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Just now learning the shit that we taught.
We living in the midst of poverty, plenty licks and robberies, casing out the storefront so we can hit the lottery. Made it out the door once, my peeps ain't with the bribery, the thieving no canary, the streets is for the rivalry. Where it's real cold, about to kick the field goal. Super Bowl Sunday, the block could get real throw. Trying to roll Achilles, I'm on the kill road. And the combo round, these stomping grounds could get still told. Me no panic over no pandemic. You know the COVID shit, the system got their hands in it. The government running scams and gimmicks. Even the hospitals and damn clinics is Rona contaminated. Standing tough through all the stuff I've been through. Still I muster up the strength to rough them up suspenseful. Corrupt your mental, fuck your feelings cause I must offend you. Not all the money in the world could never ever hide the sucker for
Get addicted to my diction, the right prescription. Audios guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Just now learning the shit that we taught.
Get addicted to my diction, the right prescription. Audios guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Just now learning the shit that we taught.
I got you stuck off the realness. I keeps it off in the raw, raised on such and laws. So what the deal is? Equal to great son, the newborn prodigy. Me and Nico cases making some new pornography, chilling with AG and Puerto Rico. Rockin' from here to Catalina, and hotter than Sausalito. I won't stop till I get enough. Well, y'all are Politito, so call me an Ashkenazi Beetle or a Baha'i rolling rhinestone cowpoke. I'm throwing these clowns down. It sounds dope. Fuck Benedict and Francis. When you see how effortless the dance is, you gon' wanna crown me the Pope. Fuck 'em. Your eyes wide with excitement because of me. I am the second coming of 90s Bun B. This is murder. Spitting in the booth. You were searching for wisdom and the truth. If you found me, you found both.
Get addicted to my diction, the right prescription. Audios guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Just now learning the shit that we taught.
Get addicted to my diction, the right prescription. Audios guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Just now learning the shit that we taught.
Get addicted to my diction, the right prescription. Audios guaranteed to lift the audience. I work the pen to make the ink transform.
Man, back, respect all our minds. Believe that. All 8 of them and everybody on the team respect all our minds. Just like that. It's the first and last time I'ma say it. Oh yeah. When that groove grooving, you can't help but to get the moving. So you gotta respect my money. Come on. Matter of fact, hit this. Roll that. We got all veterans in the front. We got Wayne, Biggie, Drew cutting up. We are one like what? How they put your middle fingers up. Still out here on the road, catching fish dockside studio. That's a 2 for 1, let's go. Couldn't wait to bring it back to the end. Respect my mind. In or out of town, we gon' hold it, sit down and cry. Respect my mind. In or out of town, we gon' hold it, sit down and cry. Veterans in the front. We got Wayne, Biggie, and Drew cutting up. We are one like what? How they put your middle fingers up. Sit still out here on the road, catching fish dockside studio. That's a 2 for 1, let's go. Couldn't wait to bring it back to the end. Respect my mind. In or out of town, we gon' hold it, sit down and cry. Respect my mind. In or out of town, we gon' hold it, sit down and cry. Haters gon' hate when they life ain't right. Haters gon' hate when they wife ain't right. Haters gon' hate when they pockets tight. We lost Big Ben and we gon' be alright. Haters gon' hate when they life ain't right. Haters gon' hate when they wife ain't right. Haters gon' hate when they pockets tight. We lost Big Ben, but you still gon' respect my mind. In or out of town, we gon' hold it, sit down and cry. Respect my mind. In or out of town, we gon' hold it, sit down and cry. Respect.
You wasn't with us when we were shooting in the gym, though. Oh, Lord. Say that one more time. You wasn't with us when we were shooting in the gym. If you gon' speak on us, speak real fast.
We hot.
Let them know you was nothing to it.
I can just speak on me, man. Now, I ain't never been the best trumpet up in the ink, but I always hold it down and make sure we straight. Hustle through the struggle, do whatever it takes. Still down by the river and under the lake, working late nights to the early morning daylight. We coming to get it at the time of the place right. If we ain't in the city, you know that the pay right. Yeah, we grind hard till the music gon' stay tight. Come on. Haters don't hate when their life ain't right. Haters don't hate when their wife ain't right. Haters don't hate when they pockets tight. You know the big bin is gon' be alright. Haters don't hate when their life ain't right. Haters don't hate when their wife ain't right. Haters don't hate when they pockets tight. We love big bin, but you still don't respect my mind. We in the out of town, we gon' hold this shit down and grind. Respect my mind. In the out of town, we gon' hold this shit down and grind. Once you hear it, you gotta respect it.
Pick up the mic like I'm Megatron, mega charge. Fortune come on my way like leprechaun. Success I'm betting on. It's like the storm getting gone. Something new I'm edging on. Pressing the precipice with my fingertip. Playing with fire like Oedipus. Domination, definite energy, kinetic. Bridging port for sport, Connecticut. Bust my etiquette with predicate. Skill ill like I got a prepping kit. Proper with this shit like a preppy kid. Ain't no replicates when I'm repping it. Our balls force your leverage till you settle in. Magneto, control cerebral. Thoughts clear like Vivo. Drive all to your drive like repo, consequence of all to ego. Rhymes tight like sweet spots from repetitions of Kegel. Squeeze this weapon lethal, heroin no equal.
Powers in the flow, similar to H2O, making minerals, stalactites that hang low. Such a visual appreciation's critical. As a soldier in the battlefield draped in camo. Eye on my enemies who dare to cross lines, soon to find that the ground beneath them's about to blow. Stepping on mine's lifeline is zero when they explode, flying through the air, eating crow. Better know my regiment thick, hold weight with the Walcott grip on deadlifts when we spit, setting you adrift. On your tacky ass ships while we cruise through continents, unsinkable with the gifts. Remain present, unalarmed by hating peasants in these dark times. My essence is fluorescent, glow like time off, the energy's abundant. Key and the queen combined is a power supply redundant.
We run shit, dichotomy. Me and Key bout this psychology. Get up in your head, lobotomy. Don't even bother we. I'm less talking excessive numerics, that's reflective a lottery.
For the game, poetic pottery. Cup runneth over, quenching thirst like Japan and Sean Connery. Word is bond, no James, I bring the fire. Arriving on the scene with more shells than Honey Rider.
Can't get no lava, competition devoured. We starve in pits with traces of saliva. Inspired by my kin, transcending as grand designers. Blessed with gifts given from most high.
Acknowledging who blessed us with tremendous downloads. These words hit your soul with spiritual sound codes. Watch beyond measure, that's how hard we shine. When our energy aligns, it's a power divine. Power divine. Powers in the flows. Powers in the flows. Competition. Devoured. These words hit your soul.
Yo, you are listening to Word is Bond Rap Radio, 94.9 FM Radio Western. We got a special show for you tonight, all about neurodivergent voices. I'm going to play some D-sisive right now. After the commercial spots, we're going to have guests. So don't go anywhere.
When I was a boy, I'd find me a quiet corner to park myself and pop in a cassette. Yes, I said a cassette, and if you don't get what I said, I recommend you Google the math. I'd pop a cassette in my Walkman and nod my noggin until my pop walked in and told me to press stop. What? I can't hear you. Volume's loud. La la la. Yelling isn't good for your heartbeat, and what's good for you may not be good for the goose. I'm sorry. I'm just an ostrich trying to fly off this concrete, so try to understand. One man's piece of trash is another man's brick of gold. One man's piece of trash is another man's brick of gold. Or so I've been told. If you can't hear what I'm listening, I'm sorry, so sorry. If you can't hear what I'm listening, I'm sorry, so sorry. And if it don't make sense to you, I know it makes sense to me. If it don't make sense to you, I know it makes sense to me. So let me be. When I was a boy, I'd find me a corner to park myself and pop a pen cap off. Yes, a pen, not fold up a laptop. This was the 90s, 20 years behind me. Pipe dreaming I'd be trying to be like the MCs. I'd rewind and play back, believing I'm gonna make it. While everybody told me time was wasting breath, trying to stop me. But what's good for you may not be good for the goose. I'm sorry, I'm just an ostrich trying to fly off this concrete. So try to understand. One man's piece of trash is another man's brick of gold. One man's piece of trash is another man's brick of gold. Or so I've been told. If you can't hear what I'm listening, I'm sorry, so sorry. If you can't hear what I'm listening, I'm sorry, so sorry. And if it don't make sense to you, I know it makes sense to me. If it don't make sense to you, I know it makes sense to me. So let me be.
I lost everything but my memories and my dreams.
Today, my son asked, "Can I have a bookmark?" And I burst into tears. 11 years old and he still doesn't know my name is Brian. I mean, come on.
Open mic comedy nights at the Poacher's Arm is the place to go for your weekly dose of outrageous comedy. Every Monday at 8 p.m., you can catch some of the city's best comedians coming together with side-splitting comedy sets. So come on out to London's longest-running open mic every Monday at 8 p.m. at the Poacher's Arms.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 949 is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Hey, London. Sorry we missed your message earlier. There's a lot of reasons we probably couldn't get to the phone, putting out some fires. Maybe it's the weekend and we weren't here. But even though we can't call you back, feel free to text us at 519-661-3600 or DM us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll respond to your messages as soon as we can. Okay, bye now.
You're tuned into Radio Western 94.9 CHRW.
Yeah, Word is Bond Rap Radio right here on Radio Western. We are broadcasting live out of the heart of Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. My name is Chase March and I am autistic. And this is our Autism Awareness Month special. And I just wanted to put this together because recently been diagnosed and thought, what better way to do this than just to invite some people in and talk. So we got someone in the studio right now. C Omposed. How's it going?
What's up? I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Nice to have you on the program because you're always posting cool stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm all about that rage, I guess.
Well, it's good to advocate for the community because I don't know if it's necessarily rage.
I mean, it depends on who you ask. Some people look at my posts and they're like, yeah, that absolutely resonates with me and I dig it and I get it and that's absolutely my journey. And then other people are like, no, this is absolutely not my experience and it's certainly not my children's experience and how dare you? And, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and we also have Candice. Candice, are you there?
Well, I guess I'm the thorn in the side poet and a classically trained musician, and I'm also a ragey advocate. Absolutely. I'm about the rage myself as well. So.
Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, I think that's better. All right, it's been a minute since I have had a guest on the phone line, so yeah, we got a couple guests that are going to be calling in today, and I don't think anyone else is strolling through the studio, but I thought maybe we should just tell some stories for a second because you guys were both talking about how some people, might think you're raging or something or getting mad because it's crazy. I have a 6-year-old son right now and he is absolutely incredible. But I always just took him as he was. But my wife is like, we should go get him assessed for autism. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because he'd stand up on his tippy toes and jump in front of the television and sometimes flap his arms kind of things. And, I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, he's just excited or whatever. So then we got him diagnosed and he's autistic. So I started doing what any parent would do. I read and read and read and read and read and read. I've read dozens of books on autism. And the weird thing is I'm reading them and I'm going, holy cow, that's me. Turn the page. That's me. Turn the page. That's me. And then I'm like, there's a hereditary aspect. Wait a second.
Maybe the dots align.
Yeah, so then I went and saw a psychologist, and I just got diagnosed in January, and I didn't tell people about it for a while. And then I was donating blood, and I told the person, that the nurse, and she's like, "Oh wow, I'm the first person you told." She was kind of excited about that and supportive. And then I told the next person that was taking my blood, and she looked at me like I was crazy.
I'm telling you, it's the mix.
Yeah, so some people get it and some people don't. And then I told an ex-girlfriend, I told a old teacher buddy of mine, they're both, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can't tell if that's exactly more of validating or if it's more infuriating or insulting. Just to be like, really? Why was I the last one to know then?
Yeah, why was I the last one to know? And I posted a video last week's show teasing about this one, and my uncle messaged me once he saw the video. He's like, "We knew. My wife and I knew." I was like, "I'm the last person to know." Like, it's strange.
Yep. There's no sort of easy way to go about it. For myself, like, I am autistic, and it's funny actually because I started my mental health journey with trauma healing actually before I knew about my neurodivergency, and then from there ADHD became more prominent for me. And then once ADHD got let out of the bag, then suddenly here comes up autism, and I was like, oh, hello! I was not expecting to see you here, but here you are, and wow, it makes sense. You've been here my whole life. Well, dang. Now I know why everything had to go down the way that it did.
Yeah, I always thought I was just weird. And it's interesting because people in the hip hop community, like I told a guy that's been at the show lots of times and we've been on stages together, he's like, I had no idea. But we're always hip hop, right? Like, I'm hip hop, and if I'm talking to someone about rap and about the music scene, it's like it makes sense. But when my in-laws are over, I can't talk to them about anything. Like, I don't like hockey. I don't know where to talk. I don't know how to talk to you guys about things. So I have these, it's like this invisible, like they call it an invisible disability because, you know, people can't see it, and I'm maybe socially awkward, and I've got these obsessions and a need for routine. Like, you know, I have the same thing for lunch every single day.
It's a safe food, right? And if you've got your safe foods, then you find comfort in them, and it's just easier to keep going around managing your life and trying to figure out how exactly to just take each day as it comes.
Yeah. Mighty Rhino, are you on our phone lines? Please call back. Please call back. All right. I think we lost our callers.
There's something to be said about this. There is an autism joke in there somewhere. The idea of dropping our social cues, dropping our social calls. You know it's there. I can't find it, but I will find it one time.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Dad jokes are. I saw someone saying that it's autistic because we think it's funny, but it's just a dad joke. But everyone tells dad jokes, right?
Yeah, everyone tells dad jokes.
All right, caller, are you there? See, I did that right, didn't I? Press this button twice. Yo, why aren't you there? They were there before.
Lack of object permanence.
Hey, are you here? All right, that's weird. Okay, press this button twice to route the caller to the mixing board. Are you there now?
When we had this issue before, it might have been on the switchboard there.
Where did she go? Hello, hello? Can we hear you? This is great radio, eh? Hello, hello, hello. All right, are you there now?
I am waiting to try and
Okay, we got you. We got you. All right. So B Composed was asking you a question there.
Yeah, I was just saying, we were talking about like our special interests, and, you know, especially once you realize you're autistic, you're like, oh, that's why I go down the rabbit hole on certain topics. So I was curious, which topics have you gone down the rabbit hole on? She was there, and I heard a click.
Are you gone, Candice? That red light went out. All right. This is why it's cool to have in-studio guests. They don't just disappear, usually. Some of the rappers disappear because they're like, I got to go get a smoke. But they come back. All right. Sorry, we're having some difficulties with the phone. But you know what's interesting? In my undergrad, in my undergrad, I loved writing essays. And most people don't like writing essays. Like, I've never talked to anyone that actually likes writing an essay. And I wonder if it's because I went down that rabbit hole. Like, I love doing the research and then putting it all together and trying to make it smart that way. Like,
yeah, no, I remember enjoying them, actually. Like, it was grade 10 English class, and I was like, all right, these are the famed essays I've heard about, where I'm going to have to put together a paper and make it a cohesive idea that is expressed about whatever I'm reading. Somebody wants to know what I'm going to say, what I want to say. Fantastic. And then I received it all back with a whole bunch of red writing everywhere and being like, this is incoherent. This doesn't make sense here. Are you sure about this? And I was like, not anymore.
Aw. Candice, are you back? Oh, no. I think I don't know what's going on with her phone. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, that's Mighty Rhino.
Yes, indeed. What it do?
All right. Sorry, man.
Come on, baby. Shout out to the big homie Jay Smart. Shout out to C Omposed. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's the Mighty Rhino in the building.
Woo.
Yeah. About that?
It's good to hear from you.
Yeah.
What a joy. I appreciate y'all very much.
I think Candice is here, too. Let's see if I can get her on, hopefully. Candice, is that you? No? Let's just put it on the air. All right.
I don't know for certain whether I know Candice or not, but...
Candice, are you there? No? All right. Well, we got Mighty Rhino, and it's crazy that I have not had you on the show before because you are dope. And you've been doing your thing.
Thank you very much, my dog.
You've been doing your thing a minute. Once you called in a second ago, I was like, ooh, I got to squeeze one of your songs in. So I just played You Found Both. So.
Oh, I love that joint. Yo, shout out to that. I love that. That was an excellent joint. That was produced by my elder blood brother, Diggs. He's an amazing producer. Nobody knows because he's gotten so little of his work out to the people. And so few people have heard how incredible and astonishing his beats are. But that was produced by my brother Diggs, one of the greatest people I've ever known. And I got two legends on there with me, Rico of Philadelphia and the great AG, Andre the Giant, of Digging in the Crates Crew from the Bronx.
So amazing.
Fucking smash it. It's like the quality of their rapping is just crazy, and I love that beat. And I feel like I went ham on that record. You know, I feel like I went in and did what I had to do. And Notion, my big homie who engineers a lot of my shit, he said to me that sounded like I came with it so hard that it was like I was the featured guest verse stealing the record from the other cast. So
dope. That
felt good to me when he said that. I love that record. It's a jam, you know. It's like Biggs' beat is a fucking bop, and AG and Rico go in, and then I did what I had to do, and that record is a lot of fun. I spin that all the time, and that record's got fans all around the world.
All right, we're on live radio, so we're not allowed to curse on the mic when we're talking, so we got to watch that a little bit. I can spin it when it's like your music, but when we're on the mic having a conversation, we're allowed to swear right here.
I hear you.
We might get in trouble.
The moment got away from me.
See, this is crazy. This is like taped on here, and it's like I just think it was flashing green like someone was there. Oh, I think I know what I did. Okay, Candice, call back. I think I know the problem. There's this sticker over the phone about how to get people on the phone, but I think it's messing up the other lines because I think I'm only got one person on at a time. There. Okay. Look, I'm going to rip this. Okay. All right. This is funny. All right. Candice, are you there?
I am.
Hey, look at this. We're figuring out live radio right now. It's funny because before the pandemic, I was in the studio like every week. And then for 2 or 3 years, I've been at home because I have the technology to record radio at home and then just send it in. So everything was pre-recorded for a while. So I've got this humongous board in front of me and I'm like, I forget how to use it sometimes.
Oh, that's right. It's all good, dog. We understand the returns and everything else, right?
Yeah, you're listening to Word is Bond Rap Radio, 94.9 FM Radio Western, broadcasting out of the heart of Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. My name is Chase March, and everybody on this program is neurodivergent some way. I'm autistic. Candice, I know B was trying to ask you a question like 20 minutes ago. I don't know if we still want to go there or you have something else to say about what we've been talking about.
Well, I did miss a lot of what you've been talking about, trying to call in and that stuff. But my journey was a late diagnosis, right? My whole life, I had special interests of every kind, right? Like rock collecting and clown collecting and music of the yin yang and all of this stuff. And then as an adult, I similar to your journey, my daughter, when she was diagnosed with ADHD and learning disabilities, I was looking at all the assessments and the learning disabilities matched me. And so the whole world makes so much more sense now with the diagnosis. And I guess I'll just let y'all continue the conversation now that I'm in.
No, that's great. That's great. Because you basically learned that you are a zebra trying to live among horses, and you weren't a horse trying to live among horses who was doing a bad job of horsing. No, you had a reason for being exactly the way you were, and you were doing everything the way you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And I don't mind being the black sheep, so it's fine.
Yeah, that comes with the territory too.
See, what's weird with me is some people have compared me to Sheldon Cooper before from Big Bang Theory, and there's autistic stereotypes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is one, because everyone else on that show seems to be a stereotype.
He's totally a stereotype.
Yeah, he's an exaggerated caricature. You would never want to look at someone in your life and be like, hey, you're Sheldon Cooper. That would be the biggest slap in the face.
Yeah. It's weird for me too, because I'm almost 50. I'm going to be 50 next week, and I just found out this year, and I was like, what does this mean for me? Because I kind of don't like labels, and I held down I'm a school teacher, and I had that job for 20 years. It's some people would I had no idea you're autistic, and then other people are yeah, that makes sense. And I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out lots of things. So it's nice to be able to talk to you people.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait till the skill regression kicks in. That's a fun doozy. Have you heard of this? Because I hear Candice laughing. I think she knows about it.
I mean, I can't differentiate because I also have MS and a bunch of other things, so my brain is just whacked, right?
See, that's the one thing people don't understand. You can have multiple disabilities.
With the labels, though, I think for me, I'm a systems navigator. Does that make sense? Autism or what? It allows you to own your quirks, as if you're a boss. You can map out all the specialness that you used to think was absolute weirdness, right? And then it allows you also to take your executive kind of dysfunction sometimes. I know for ADHD it's a lot more, but you can use it to your advantage once you kind of go, okay, this is how I operate. Maybe I need to change how I work and not try to fit the mold so much, but just use my skills, right?
Exactly. It's all about the healthy coping mechanisms, trying to figure out, all right, why does my brain do what it does? And how can I work with that instead of trying to rail against it? Again, how can I stop trying to be a horse going around with other horses?
519-661.
What you get to do.
Yeah.
519-661-3600 if you have a question or a comment, or if you want to share a story. Gampi is checking in, says, hope you're well. I work with special needs community myself. So he's a rapper out in the States in Southern Cali area. So cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you can call or text 519-661-3600. We got Mighty Rhino still on our phones, and he's an artist as well. And B, you make music too, right?
I think I do the music thing sometimes, when I have the energy.
Yeah. Music is fun, right? And it's kind of a release too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how'd you get into music, or how'd you find out about your personality or style or anything like that, Mighty Rhino?
Well, as it happens, 2025 is a particularly significant year for me in this respect because it marks 25 years of total obsession with and immersion in rap music, and 15 years that I've been a semi-professional rap artist myself. And I got interested in it primarily through the man I was telling you about earlier, my blood brother Diggs, who produced many of the beats I rapped on in my early career, and who's a particularly wonderful man who has been a jack of all trades and done a lot to give me and strengthen in me many of the qualities in me that others have found positive and meaningful over the years. Most of them come directly either from my late mother, of blessed memory, God rest her soul, or they come from my brother. And my brother was a teenager at the time of what is often considered the golden era of rap music, and he raised me on, A Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and Lords of the Underground and Funk Dubious and the Ghosts and Cypress Hill and Fushnikins and so forth, but also the underground boom that was occurring at that time, Tone Deaf and Lyrics Born and Jurassic 5 and People Under the Stairs and Ugly Duckling.
I love all these groups.
And all kinds of, very, very many. And later on, around the year 2005 or 6, I also discovered UGK and Scarface and Zero and Dead and the Dude and Bubba Sparks and a lot of the country rap tunes that became important to me later on. Ghostface Killah became important to me. Beanie Siegel and Freeway became important to me. Many others. And, I mean, the list is endless. E40, Sugar Free. And so I've been just totally obsessed since I was really a tiny dib, and I was 12 years old at that time, and I'm 37 now. And it's been an absolute joy. And in terms of my style, I mean, I've always tried to meld a lot of, and pay homage to a lot of the rappers I grew up on and loved, because the two greatest compliments I've ever received on my music have been from a fan who said I was like a combination of Copyright and Pitbull, and a fan who said I was like a combination of Lyrics Born and DMX. And I felt like what they were saying was that my style has a certain potency to it in terms of lyrics, and they were identifying my music as well written, but they were also identifying that there's a certain explosive Busta Rhymes-ish, mystical-ish, party-starting energy to my music, which is where you get Pitbull and DMX comparisons. And I love that because, I mean, I'm at least notionally white. I'm ethnically Jewish. I converted to the Baha'i faith in 2003, and I'm obese, and I have a learning disability affecting executive functioning and task completion. I was assessed with what was then known as Asperger's syndrome when I was 15, and I think I'm somewhere on the autism spectrum as far as I know, as well as manifesting some traits associated with obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm also bipolar. So, and I have cerebral palsy, which is, of course, a physical disability. So I just have I call it my eccentricity collection, like this bizarre cornucopia, of just strange things that comprise who I am and how I get down in the world. And by the grace of God, it's been my good fortune that a not insignificant number of people have decided that they value the way I am, to the point where I feel like the single best thing about me is that if you judged a person exclusively according to the quality of the souls of their friends, I would be the most successful person anyone knew or could find anywhere, because I've got so many wonderful ones, and there are well over 400 of them in more than 40 countries. And on top of that, I've put in the 10,000 hours to become what I would like to think is a really good rapper as well. I like my music. I can listen to it for pleasure. And I think it's good enough to be worth the time and energy of anyone who loves rap music, who wants to listen to an unusual and unique and dope perspective, and someone who'll bring the lyrical fire as well. I put my ankles in that.
I'm a college radio DJ. I only play what I like, and I play your music, dude. So definitely.
That means a lot to me, man. And many blessings to you, because I never knew you were a school teacher. I have all the respect in the world for school teachers. A lot of the greatest joys and blessings of my life have come to me through the hard work and sacrifice and service of perhaps 50 different school teachers and university professors that I had in my youth and early adulthood. And were it not for these wonderful people doing everything they could to help me thrive and prosper, I would be half the human being I am. I would be significantly lesser than I am now, and it means so much to me. Whenever I encounter someone who's a school teacher, I say, good on you, and I wish you the best, because there's almost nothing that a human being can do with their life that impacts other people's lives for the better, more directly or more concretely or more beautifully than to be a teacher, if they do it well, properly. So you deserve praise for that. And,
thanks, man.
And what I would say to B as well, although I don't know B as well as I know you, is that I've noticed B doing her best. Forgive me if I'm using the incorrect pronouns for you. You can correct me by any and all means, but I've noticed Bee doing her best to show up in the world and to work for her understanding of social justice and to be a blessing and a benefit in the lives of the people she comes across. And that's very potent as well, and that means a lot to me too, and so I would give her credit for that. And
thanks,
so it's a joy and a blessing to be among y'all because of that.
Thanks, dude. It's really wonderful because I haven't interacted with you on a musical level. I've interacted with you more on a networking level, and it's great to see your posts and see, how you continue to work for not a positive light, but you work for a warm light, and that's the best kind of positivity that's out there. That's not toxic. So it's great to see your content and to see how people engage with you, and it reminds me that there are people out there who are working on themselves and who are taking accountability, who are spreading it around to other people. It's just really great to see.
Yeah, that means the world. I'm so honored that the way I am in the world, the way I get down, and my way of being resonates with so many other people I care about. That means the world.
This is cool.
There's nothing more important to me than contributing to an increase in the joy and the happiness of the people I value and love. So what more could I ever possibly ask for?
We got a text question. I'm not sure who this is, but they said, I'm just curious how many of you guys are taking psychiatric medication for your condition, and if so, what are you taking, and is it helping?
Oh, wonderful question. So loaded.
Yeah, I got so much to say about this. Who's going first?
Is it okay if I start with this one first?
Sure. Go ahead, please.
All right. So for me, like I said, I went through with my ADHD first and then autism afterward. And it was through actually going on a medication journey, addressing my ADHD, trying to figure out how to restore some of my executive dysfunction. And when I did that, more of my autistic traits came through as a result because I was no longer using ADHD to push myself around the same way. So my anxiety disappeared, which revealed the ADHD. ADHD then ended up becoming more to the forefront, which brought autism kicking out of the shadows. And so what I've really come to understand through that entire medication journey is that it all comes down to how you treat your traits or your symptoms, whichever word you prefer to use, and that it really is just about helping you cope with being neurodivergent in a neurotypical world that expects you to push. So if you feel that your executive dysfunction is something that needs addressing and, you are looking to have more energy or you're looking to push more, like I did the Vyvanse, I did Concerta. Vyvanse is that initial hard release at the beginning of the day. Concerta is the slow release throughout the day. And I found that they helped me with overcoming some of my executive dysfunction of the catatonic disassociation, but I found that it was giving me so much energy and so much anxiety that it actually wasn't worth the cost. So regardless of whether you're going through a medication journey or not, you have to look at all the effects that those meds are having on you in terms of, again, ADHD, autism, and decide if that's serving you in your authenticity and figuring out if it's helping you keep yourself healthy with healthy coping mechanisms.
Ooh. So can I?
Yeah, I want to hear you, Candice. Of
course. For me, it's about, and I think just to piggyback on this is personal navigation, I would say, right? Mm-hmm. When you have a way of trying to be in the world and you find that there are barriers, even if it feels like you're struggling to function in a neurotypical world. Mm-hmm. And so, this is psychiatric meds are such a personal thing, mm-hmm. and there is no cut and dry. And the word condition is a little bit, mm-hmm. When you're born with something and this is just the way your brain functions in the world. Psychiatric meds they're a tool mm-hmm. for navigating the world. Mm-hmm. And you function the way you function because you're born that way. Mm-hmm. The world expects a certain level of functioning on certain,
rip the Band-Aid off. It's all about financial function and taxes. That's what it comes down to.
Are you? Well, I'm on ODSP, so I am not a working, but I'm doing what I can, right? Freelancers unite. But mm-hmm. The musical world and the art world has a lot of us neurodivergent folks, and so I don't know. Mm-hmm. Back to the psychiatric meds. Yeah, I'm on some, and I use them when I need to as a tool. And I think everybody should, if they want to and need to.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, and they feel that they're and side effects are a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so personal that maybe it should just stop being a question.
Well, yeah, and there's people out there who are genuinely curious where they're at the start of their neurodivergent journey. So, it's really common to be in the beginning process and be like, how do I fix me? And the answer is, sorry, buddy, you don't. You can try, you can cover it up, you can mask it away, you can try and deal with it as best as you can, but at the end of the day, you can't run from yourself. And as you've put it out before, Candice, you just got to accept it.
You're listening to Word is Bond Rap Radio, 94.9 FM. We got Candice on the phone lines, the Mighty Rhino, C Omposed in the studio. My name is Chase March. We are all neurodivergent, and we're having a conversation about this. If you want to join us, 519-661-3600. You can call or text, and we'll get you on and continue this discussion. But it's the top of the hour, so I got to run the commercial spots. I'm going to play a song on the other side, and then we'll get back to this because Rhino said he had a bunch to say about this, I think.
Yes.
All right. So don't go anywhere. Word is Bond Rap Radio, 94.9 FM, Radio Western.
How can you make your Tuesdays a little more tolerable? By adding a little spice. Tune into the Spice Rack with me, Andrew Spice, as we dive deep into oddities, rarities, odds and ends, and hidden gems, all sourced from the coveted Radio Western Vinyl Vault. Join me every Tuesday at noon for an afternoon of discovery, from our music collection to yours, only on Radio Western.
It is lunchtime in London, 5 a.m. in Los Angeles, and 8 a.m. here in New York, live from the Financial News headquarters.
Live every Tuesday night, Arcade Blues, 8 p.m., Vaporwave, Synthwave, Mallsoft, with me, DJ Unsubscribe, only on Radio Western 94.9 FM.
You're listening to Radio Western.
C-Quig.
So wherever I go, remember people are different. If you go ahead, listen to this.
Yo, here we go. My name is C-Quig, it ain't plain to see, but there's a lot of people out there just like me. Even though it's different from one to another, I'm about to tell you what I'm talking about, my brother. It's called autism. That's my fate. It's difficult in this world, in my state. When I was young, that life was so wonderful. Oh, it was beautiful, magic. There's a lot of things that happen in my life that cause me to have a lot of stress and strife. My world might seem a little strange to you, but to survive, I have to do what I do. Change is not something that's easy for me in this big world of diversity. The food I eat, the type of clothes I wear, even the way that I comb my hair. So wherever I go, remember people are different. If you go ahead, listen to this. Wherever I go, okay. Wherever I go, wherever I go, okay. Wherever I go, okay. Keeping up at school, it's hard for me because I don't comprehend everything that I see. When I have a question, it's hard to ask, and finding an answer is a difficult task. People used to make fun of my disability because they don't know that I think differently. I might have autism in rap old school, but I done some things that are really cool. Man, I've been in school plays and I get good grades. Nice see me rapping up here on stage. It's really important when I talk about that, especially when I put it all in a rap.
So wherever I go, remember people are different, are different. If you go ahead and listen to this. Ever I go, okay. Ever I go, wherever I go, okay.
Now before I wrap up this old school tune, I have one piece of advice to say to you. No matter what they say or what they do, just don't ever let the haters get to you. Just take it from me, because I'm telling the truth. Don't let your disability take over you. Now as I leave with my point of view, stick around, there's more music from me coming soon. Alright. My name is C-Quig. Straight out of the STL. From the Central West. We represent it.
So wherever I go, remember people are different, are different. If you go ahead and listen to this.
That's C-Quig right there. Autism. Found that searching for music on Apple Music. And I was like, I got to play some songs. There's got to be people talking about it. I found one autistic artist, too, that I'm going to try to play hopefully tonight. But we're getting a couple text messages coming through. So Tony says, first of all, love your show. Try and listen whenever possible. Thank you, Tony. Just want to know how much it costs to be diagnosed by your doctor. Or is it covered by OHIP? Does it start with an ADHD diagnosis? Thanks. All right. So
Ooh, that is a big one. I've got answers for it, but I want to make sure not to talk over Candice and the Rhino there.
I was going to throw it to B because I know B has answers.
How about you, Mighty Rhino? Because I know you were early diagnosed. Do you want to handle this one first?
You know what? I'm perfectly happy to wait. I think probably if your answers are going to be more insightful than mine, we should allow yours to be aired first, and then I'll speak my piece afterward.
I love that, because I might have some recent answers, but they may not be the full answers, because that's how it goes when you're early diagnosed versus late diagnosed. So for myself, I happened to go down the rabbit hole with ADHD first. It was something where I did approach my family doctor or a general practitioner. They essentially get you to fill out a questionnaire, and then from there they're like, yep, you check off enough of the boxes. What do you want to do? And if you are looking for medications, they can usually start you on the process right away here in Ontario. If you are looking for more specific help, like to be referred out to a specialist, that's something that they can do as well. You can also talk to other mental health professionals who might have some specific names for you to ask your doctor to refer to. From there, in terms of autism, it is significantly harder. With ADHD, you can get an unofficial diagnosis. You can go about the med journey. But with autism, there's a lot of red tape. It is going to cost money to go out and seek a diagnosis. Depending on where you are, whether it's Canada versus US, it could be anywhere from $800 up to $5,000. It depends on the route. It depends on who you talk to. It depends on who has the connections. For myself, I haven't been recommending my own professional autism diagnosed route, just because I'm waiting to see if it will open the doors that I need in terms of getting the support that I need. So I've been hanging on to that for a while. But if you are curious about looking into it to see if it's the right route for you, I went with the Guelph, the Guelph ADHD and Spectrum Center. So they provide ADHD diagnosis as well as autism diagnosis.
Interesting. I went and saw a psychologist in Sarnia because I'm living in Sarnia. And it's funny because I got, from my family doctor, I got a list of names I could call, and I called them all, and they said, we deal with kids. You're almost 50. What? And I couldn't find anybody that would actually deal with me. And then I told them that I wanted to get this diagnosis so I could help my son, because then I could say, look, we have this condition, and explain it to him, because I haven't told him yet. He's 6. Mm-hmm. We've never used the word autism in our house. I think he's heard it probably at school, because he's in kindergarten. kindergarten. But yeah, so I went to go see a psychologist, but only because I tried to find one. They all said no, and I was like, look, I'm trying to do this for my son, and the one said, okay, well, we'll take you. So I was like, all right. So I go there, and it's like you could tell they deal with kids. And even the first assessment she gave me was very like, I would give this to a kid kind of thing. But so I saw her twice for assessments. She had me do a questionnaire, fill it out. She had my wife do one. She said she was going to talk to my wife. I don't think she interviewed her. But all said and done, it cost just over $1,000, I think. Maybe a little bit more.
That was pretty much around the amount for me as well, about $1,000 or so. So it's expensive. So, since we're on the topic of diagnosis, before I throw it back over to the Mighty Rhino, with diagnosis, because of the expense, because of the barriers that are in place, it's important to emphasize that self-diagnosis is just as valid as professional diagnosis, because you can't get professionally diagnosed unless you're self-diagnosing. There might be people in your life who might potentially see that, but they're not about to approach you and say, hey, have you considered you might be autistic? Not usually anyway.
I wonder why. Because I mean, I don't know if I said this on air, but my uncle said saw my video teasing for the show from last week, and he's like, "Yeah, we knew it." I was like, "What?" So yeah, I wonder why people don't say that.
Because you're just quirky. You're just weird. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
God.
It's interesting. So before the break, we were talking about medication. Now we're talking about diagnoses. And I know Mighty Rhino said he had a bunch to say. So, Mighty Rhino.
Thank you ever so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I consider my medication regimen a dark comedy at my own expense, because if I've got my numbers correct, I take a total of 13 pills every day. I think maybe it's 14 or 15 now. I think it might be 5 in the morning and 10 at night. I would have taken the 10 at night around 9:15 p.m. this evening, Toronto time, and but that's primarily to manage bipolar disorder and a range of other concerns such as type 2 diabetes and cholesterol. None of it has to do with my autism, which actually there's at least one person in my family who is insightful and perceptive enough that I'm inclined to take him seriously when he tells me that there are other people in my family that he believes to be autistic, but he doesn't personally regard me to be so. He thinks it's a misdiagnosis by the person who assessed me for free, if I understand things correctly, although I might want to check in with my father to ask whether he paid to have it done. But this woman's name, I remember precisely, and she's still practicing as far as I'm aware. Her name was Fern Lee Quint, and she assessed me with what was then known as Asperger's syndrome around the age of 15. And when I checked in with her about a year and a half ago to find out whether she still stood by that analysis, she did. And realistically, the most significant of the mental health conditions with which I deal is actually bipolar disorder, and that's the one for which I take a ridiculous quantity of medication. And I'm not using ridiculous as a pejorative. What I'm trying to do is poke gentle fun at myself and poke gentle fun at my sort of absurd eccentricity collection. I don't take medication to deal with any aspect of autism. I do have an executive functioning disorder that inhibits my ability to complete tasks and makes it difficult for me to conquer certain types of fine details. I also lack fine and gross motor skills related to cerebral palsy, depth perception, spatial orientation. I have a hard time orienting myself in physical space. But as far as autism in particular is concerned, if there is medication that I am meant to be taking for it, I am not aware of what it is or under what circumstances I should acquire it. And I have never been told that the process of being assessed as autistic cost anyone any money. I don't know whether it was covered by OHIP, but if my father paid for it at the time, he never told me how much he paid or what the circumstances were like. And it's also true that I had a psychoeducational assessment done when I was in, I want to say grade 7 or 8, which would have put me around the age of 12, maybe even younger than that. I think I know it would have been past the 5th grade, but it would have been sometime around 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. And I remember the name of the psychoeducational assessment facilitator as well. Her name was Dr. Naomi Tal. She's also highly competent and knew what she was doing. And they assessed me as, what was the word they used? My God. They helped explain why my percentages in terms of certain types of achievement were abnormally high. It's sort of ludicrously high, but there were other things that I simply couldn't do. Like in terms of verbal capacity and linguistic eloquence, so to speak. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I scored well in these areas, but I can't do math for the life of me. I have no capacity for spatial orientation, for depth perception, for a range of other things. And so this sort of the push and pull, the tightrope walk, the fine-tooth comb work of figuring out the sort of nuances and trade-offs and
yes, you know what, I want to jump in. Sorry, yeah, I'm so sorry to cut you in there.
You don't mean apologies. Okay.
I wanted to jump in though because you hit the nail on the head there. That if a person is looking at self-diagnosing, it is actually a really helpful tool to go online and look up what's called the ASPIE quiz, ASPIE quiz, and there are a whole bunch of diagnostic tools to at least take a look at on there. They obviously are not there to diagnose you, but they're there to point you in the right direction and determine whether you might experience dyscalculia or dyspraxia, or whether you have certain neurodivergent tendencies over others. And so it's a really informative quiz. There's even a one on that site that determines how much your masking potentially affects your autism and how it manifests. So it's a really good resource where if you think that you might be autistic, or even if you might have ADHD, that if you kind of look into that area and look at all those co-occurring traits, like the ones you pointed out, Mighty Rhino, then that can be a good way to go down.
It's interesting for me because I took one of those self-diagnoses, and you were supposed to score this much to be autistic, and I was like 5 or 6 or 7 points away from it, and I thought I missed it by that much.
Did you take the RADS-R one though, that measures how much you're masking?
No. I don't understand masking. I'm like, do I do it? Like, I don't know if I do it. Like, yeah, I don't quite get it because
Yeah. How much do you sit in bed at night looking back at your interactions from a year ago and be like, ooh, I did that. Was that right? Was that not right?
I never do it in bed, but that wasn't supposed to be a joke, but I do that sometimes, yeah.
Do you reminisce about, say, 15 or 20 years ago?
I have a terrible memory, so...
I have a terrible memory too, but I still remember times I screwed up an interaction in grade being like, oh, B, what did you do? Why did you say that?
Actually, you want to hear a hilarious story on this?
This resonates with me very much too.
I had a job interview when I was a teenager for Radio Shack, and it would have been the perfect job for me because I was like, I'd go there all the time and I'd get wires and I'd get these doohickeys and I'd like wire up my bedroom in certain ways, and I'd have stereo sound coming out of the VCR and that stuff. And one of the first questions they asked me is like, would you consider Radio Shack as a career? And I said, hell no. This is an interview. Of course I didn't get that job. But,
and then the person says, I don't know what masking is, and I don't know if I have negative social interactions.
Right?
I see, it's just because I think I've learned how to navigate the world in a way where I present as normal for the most part.
Or neurotypical, yeah. And like that's the thing too, is that it's a very common misconception about autistic people. It's not that we can't see social interactions. It's that occasionally they might fly over our head, but more to the point, we don't see the logicity in them. So for example, the idea of when you're in the doctor's office, you're supposed to sit quietly with your hands on your lap and pretend that you're not bored as all get out. And if you are so incredibly bored, go talk to somebody about the weather. What? Why? I am there to see the doctor about a medical problem concern I have. What on earth makes me think that I'm going to go talk to a stranger and try to push that out of my head when I'm just focusing on telling them exactly what is going on with me medically at that time? So it's just
why I bring a book.
I wonder whether I might speak to some of this, please.
Please do. Mighty Rhino.
I appreciate that very much, and I don't mean to interrupt anyone. I mean, a lot of what you're saying resonates with me in a deep way, and on a deep level. I have a rotating array of, let's say, 100 painful mistakes or difficult interactions or cases where I believe myself to have sinned or caused someone to suffer meaningfully, for which I haven't truly ever forgiven myself. And these, especially at down moments, especially at moments when I'm already vulnerable for some other reason, they march through my head like the ensemble cast marching on stage during the introduction of the Looney Tunes characters that have been in my head lately. So, and they were also my first major fixation as an autistic child. So, if you remember the ensemble cast of the Looney Tunes characters marching on stage one after the other in the opening credits of the Bugs Bunny television show, this is how my ensemble cast, as it were, of failures and bad memories and mistakes and sins and flaws and foibles and troubles treats me sometimes. And also, when you're referring to the difficulty of interacting with strangers and having to behave in a certain way in a given social situation in order not to be seen as weird or strange or behaving in a way that's problematic. In a lot of cases, what this means for me is striving to repress my natural exuberance, because anyone who's met me or even interacted with me online generally knows that I try to glow and shine with love and warmth and tenderness and affection and joy and light at basically all times and under as many circumstances as possible, and offer that joy and affection to anyone who's interested in receiving it under as many circumstances as can possibly work. So some people love it, but there are certain situations in which it's not appropriate, which means one has to play triage. One has to very meticulously, as I said earlier, fine-tooth comb, figure out the situations in which it's appropriate, the situations in which it's going to creep someone out or make them feel uncomfortable. And sometimes it's helpful to just check in openly, but you can't necessarily do that in a doctor's office. I love checking in openly, and I do that with anyone I get close to.
Sorry, I have to jump. I love that you said triage. Masking is kind of like you triage every situation, and maybe you choose to mask or you don't. But some of us who were late diagnosed, we didn't realize that we were doing that our whole lives and masking, and it's exhausting because it takes energy to hide that exuberance, right?
Yes, it's hard to hide certain elements, and it's hard to bring forward other ones, and you can't win.
See, and I need more sleep than my wife, and it's always confused me why. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. If you do not rest, your body gets you to rest.
Burnout. There's autistic burnout, right? Yep. Because especially as adults, when we're forced to high mass in the world, at the end of the day, we're exhausted. Right.
So we're talking about autism right now and neurodivergence of all different sorts. 519-661-3600 if you want to jump in on this. And, it's interesting because I've seen some people call autism a superpower. And some people get really mad at that. But I was at Sarnia Pop Culture Show last weekend, and I bought 17 books, and they were $5 each. And the vendor was going, okay, 17, my son was there. He's 6. I'm like, hey, I said, hey, what's 17 times 5? And he said, 85. Right away, this dude, my son is in senior kindergarten. He's rating at a grade 5 level. He knows all of his times tables. He can do a 17 times table in his head like that. He knows his prime numbers up to 400 and perfect squares. So going back to a stereotype, some people think the Rain Man stereotype kind of thing, right? My son is so smart. It's ridiculously smart. He taught himself how to read.
He got the double autism card, because that's not just autism, that's autism and gifted.
Right, the double exceptional. And and so, but superpower, it's almost like if you were a superhero, right, and you had an energy bar, every time you use your autistic superpowers, your energy bar goes down.
Yes.
Right?
And if you use it for like a reason that doesn't actually further your interests or your desires, it takes a much larger hit.
So we're talking like a video game life indicator.
Yes.
Not a granola bar, because, you know,
or, you know, if you go back to old school D&D, you know, like your HP, your hit points.
Hit points. Yeah.
Can you tell that we've all got our nerdy interests?
I loved it when I was a child.
Audio engineering, okay, is an autistic superpower. Like, autistic folks are the best sound engineers. Ask me.
Yep. And then, of course, you know, as you said, taking that hit, like, yes, my superpower is that I'm able to function during the day. I go out, I teach my students. I somehow find the time and the energy to, like, come onto a radio show, talk about, you know, mental health and shit and stuff. And then, you know, I'm going to probably go home, crash for 4 or 5 hours in a catatonic state in front of my TV and just attempt to recover. So, I mean, is that really a superpower? Is it really, quote unquote, you know, high functioning, as some people like to call it? And the answer is, well, no, not really.
More exhausting to function normally, quote unquote normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird has always been my favorite word. I've always felt weird. I've always felt different, but I didn't know why until I was finding myself in the pages of the books I was reading to help my son. So that's my journey, and it's interesting because I don't know, like, you know, I told my chiropractor this, and he's like, well, I don't like labels. I would have told you not to go. And I'm like, he's like, it doesn't change our relationship. And he's right, you know? So.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, though, those books that you've been using to read, to learn about and help your son, now that you have that awareness of yourself, would you apply those books to you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking, would I apply them?
Yeah, would you? And does it, like, the knowledge that you've learned from trying to help your son, does it help you navigate or at least accept things that you might not have accepted about yourself before?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of cool to be able to say I'm autistic, and it's interesting because I didn't want to do that at first, and I don't know how much I should say because my mom listened to the last show, but I have a funny feeling that my uncle was autistic, and I don't think anybody ever said it. I you know, it's possible.
It was also just disguised back then, though, too. It's not that autistic people popped out of nowhere. No, it's that they had, you know, they were high maskers themselves trying to fit in society. So, of course, they don't actually measure their own energy levels. But there's always that one uncle who's just a little too obsessed with trains, or, you know, that aunt who has to take her everyday nap from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. and don't you dare disturb her, because otherwise she will be a grump for the rest of the evening. You know, it's the grandpa who's getting drunk at family reunions, and, you know, he seems so happy and he seems so well adjusted, but when you look back at it, you know, substances are actually one of the ways that autistic people cope with navigating social circumstances.
That's sad. That is sad, especially in hip hop, because I see so many people, like, on Facebook saying that they've had a battle to become sober and they're sober now. And it's cool to see that, but to see that people have to get stuck abusing substances to deal with life, like, life's got to be different. Like, if I have a headache, I don't take a Tylenol, you know, like, I try to stay away from drugs. So going back to that, like, I've never taken anything for anything.
Jesus. Talk about a superpower.
Maybe it is. I like to suffer through pain a lot if I can.
The inner psychologist inside me wants to tear into that so badly, but I'm going to give you your dignity there.
Except when I threw out my back a month ago, it's like, that was horrible. So I needed something for that, but normally I don't. So I'm all over the place with what I'm talking about today. This is crazy.
Well, actually, autistic folks actually don't feel pain the same way either.
It's a lack of interoception, or sometimes hyper-interoception.
So you may just, like, not feel pain the same way other folks do.
Or, like, in my case, I'll get a paper cut, I'll be whining like a little baby. Then the next thing I know, a few hours later, I'm in the kitchen, my partner, "Are you okay?" I look down, I'm bleeding and gushing because I cut myself with a knife. Totally didn't feel it.
Wow. But I also become a baby when I get a cold.
I can relate to this.
My wife's like,
recent remark by B, I believe, I'm one of the. It's funny, a funny thing. I don't fear death in even the slightest, but I do often get discombobulated by physical pain. And okay, let's think how to work through the things that you've each just most recently said. The question of autism as a superpower, which is often articulated. It's that particular phrase is often, or like framework, as it were, is often articulated by people who I think want to condescend to autistic people without getting noticed. And with the question of how to deal with pain, I mean, there was something specific I wanted to say to this, and it's now slipping in my mind. Oh, yes. Chase was talking about the experience of wanting to permit himself to suffer through
You picked up on that too, huh?
Physical suffering. I sometimes have a masochistic attitude towards emotional suffering, and if I believe I merit it for reasons that I can analyze according to my moral framework, then I will sometimes permit myself to self-flagellate in ways that many of the people who love me consider unproductive. But physical pain is a different beast. In terms of my readiness to take, I don't get headaches often enough to have to consider those in particular, but there was something else that one of you mentioned. Paper cuts I've always despised. I don't use knives often enough to cut myself with a knife recently, but those situations I've always despised. There's something in particular. Oh, yes. I can't really be around broken glass. Frightens me, although I've had to pick it up. And because of the way my brain works in relation to fine detail, if I break a piece of glass, I have to get down on my hands and knees and risk cutting myself to pick up every individual piece of glass because I do not have the capacity to use a broom or mop to clean the broken glass from whatever surface I've destroyed the glass on. But there was something else in particular to do with pain and the relationship between autism and pain that I when you go on the radio, you want to be as eloquent as you can. You want to be able to speak accurately and meaningfully to the things other people are bringing forward. But there was something specific I wanted to say that has evaporated into thin air. And
you know what? Let me jump on that, and maybe what I say will kind of trigger your memory there. So,
sure, if you don't mind giving me space to try to nail it later.
Yeah, no, because when it comes to pain and the idea of pushing through the pain, we also have to look at, is that an autistic thing, or is that an autistic thing that comes from living in a neurotypical society where everybody tells you to quote unquote just push? This idea of I can handle more hours, everybody else is doing it, I can push, I bet I can. Or this idea of you suck it, just suck it up, it'll be fine, you can go to the doctor's office in a few hours or in a day if it's really that bad. Is it really that bad? How do you know? The gaslighting you experience in this neurotypical society. Neurotypicals do it to each other, and it's unhealthy, but let alone autistics who genuinely don't have the spoons to deal with that.
See, I'm going back to...
I just remembered what I wanted to speak to earlier.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, all right.
Just quickly, what I had wanted to touch upon is that Chase mentioned that he generally tries to avoid drugs. This is a tricky and touchy subject for people who are autistic or otherwise experience mental or physical health challenges because drugs can be so wildly beneficial or so deeply harmful, and it's a case-by-case thing, and it's almost never an identical experience for two different people. For me, pardon me, I'm actually getting a belated reminder to take my meds just in case I hadn't. For me, I used to love consuming cannabis, to be quite frank with you, but I realized that because I'm bipolar, it would cause mental breakdowns of a kind that I couldn't endure. So I forced myself to quit, even though I love this stuff so much that I literally wrote a song about how much fun I used to have when I would consume it on a basis of about once every few months. I loved it enough that I wrote a song about how much I loved it. But and alcohol was something I've avoided since I was a tiny child. First, because I can't stand the taste. Secondly, because it's wounded the lives of so many people I care about. And thirdly, because I belong to a small religion, the Baha'i faith, which forbids its consumption. So I've just always, those are three strikes. I've hated alcohol and coffee and carbonated drinks for my whole life and never touched any of them.
Wow.
But as far as carbonated drinks and coffee are not forbidden by the Baha'i faith, I just don't like them. Alcohol is outright forbidden. But in terms of drugs, I mean, I pack my body full of 15, 17-ish different psychiatric meds every day, and my medication regimen works so well that I've developed such an innate and reflexive trust in it that I don't question it at all, and that if I have to skip even one of my medications for any reason, I will assiduously and meticulously check in with my doctors, whom I love and trust, who are very wonderful, and my pharmacy team, who are also wonderful, to make sure that having to miss even one of my 15 or so medications, 15 or so pills, maybe 10 individual drugs, but 15 or so pills, I always check in to make sure what it'll do to me and under what circumstances I'm going to need to take care of myself. And I'm one of those people. I've been lucky over the course of a long period of time. I nearly died of a pulmonary embolism in 2018, and I've made attempts to do something that one probably shouldn't talk about over the radio, but I assume by my tone of voice that you can tell what I'm referring to, and I've made the attempt more than once. I've had enough experiences in hospitals to have some reason to be able to speak with some level of authority about what it means to have that kind of experience, and I've been lucky. The medical system in this country, at least in this city of Toronto, where I've been living my whole life, has been so overwhelmingly good to me that I almost look forward to going to the doctor. I almost look forward to going to the hospital. It's not that I like the pain or I like the suffering or I like the evidence that I may have problems to deal with later that will be dangerous and challenging, and the sort of vicissitudes of life and whatever can be hard to deal with and all that. But because when I go to the hospital, I look forward to charming nurses. And when I go to the hospital, I look forward to being sweet and kind to medical staff and emergency medical technicians and so forth. And my doctors and my pharmacy team, they're all such wonderful people that, and this is, I think, and I promise I'm trying to build towards something that's remote, even at least somewhat relevant, and that is that one of the things that many autistic people can do, not all of us, but many of us can do, is build communities of solidarity with the people around us.
It's a really interesting skill that we have, and it's very specific to our brains, and it's the idea of cognitive empathy and learning that there are in fact different types of empathy that people can naturally engage in. Like neurotypicals, they don't have cognitive empathy. They actually have emotional empathy, where something vibrates inside of them when they look at another person and they just feel the feelings. And people have thought that autistics lack empathy and lack the ability to build that kind of connection and solidarity because we don't automatically feel it the same way. But what we have can arguably be even stronger, because our cognitive empathy is where we ask the other person about their experiences. We go into our past, we find a similar experience that will provide us with the same feelings, and we remember those feelings while addressing the person's current pain in front of us. So we actually help the other person feel more empathized with, and we help them feel more heard because we're asking them questions and we're being so direct about it. So we actually have, if you really want to call a superpower, we've got this cognitive empathy that allows people to feel so connected. And it's actually why, as a vulnerable people, we often end up in relationships with others and those relationships can often be unhealthy for us because we overcommit. We have this level of empathy and it gets taken advantage of, perhaps even in the most innocuous of ways, where people are just want to be surrounded by that understanding.
This is amazing. Would you believe that this is a college hip hop radio show?
This is wonderful.
Sorry, Candice. We're late for the bottom of the hour spots, so I'm going to run the commercials right now. We were supposed to do it 5 minutes ago, but I wanted to see the point we were coming up to there.
Asked a question I wanted to answer, but I'll wait.
All right. Please wait.
I have more to say too, but I can wait.
You're listening to Word is Bond Rap Radio. We play rap music usually Thursday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight, but I love being able to get local artists in here and have discussions. And this one is important. We're talking about neurodivergence and autism and everything like that. If you have something that you want to contribute to the discussion, 519-661-3600. Call or text that number. We're going to be back with our special guests. We got Candice on the phone lines, B Composed in the studio. Mighty Rhino was on the phone, and I am your host, Chase March. And if you want to hear any of this again because you missed it, chasemarch.com. The podcast will be there shortly. All right, don't go anywhere.
Hey, how are you doing? It's Jonathan Whitford here. Do you want to keep up with new Canadian releases, but you just don't have the time? Well, not to worry, I'll do all that and more for you Tuesday mornings from 7 to 9 here at Coasting. Tune in to hear some of the best new Canadian music from coast to coast, and there's always a surprise oldie thrown in for fun. So start your morning off right and join me for Coasting on Radio Western 94.9.
Take that, rewind it back.
Oh yeah, listen to Old School, New School and my new time slot every Saturday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm your host, DJ Black Dynamite, and I'll be bringing you the best rap and R&B from the golden age to the trap era and everything in between. That's Old School, New School, Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m. on Radio Western.
Radio Western 94.9 FM is CHRW.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Autism is not a disease. It is not a sickness. These children are very much capable of anything. And I love them all. And this is for my son is autistic. I spit this. Yeah, if your kid is autistic, then gifted. We not overlooking other disorders, but learning about autism is important. For my son is autistic. I spit this. Yeah, if your kid is autistic, then gifted. We not overlooking other disorders, but learning about autism is important. As I open my eyes and visualize to this wise beat, spread my wings, doing my thing from the concrete. Every heartbeat is for the breath of my sons. I love them both, trade my life for theirs. Yeah, I be ghost. I do a bid, lose a rib just for both of them to live. I'm an advocate, awareness is what I'm trying to give. I speak for the families of those that affect them. My youngest nonverbal, he's severe on the spectrum. He was healthy 18 months, then got a shot. And then mentally, it's like all the growing stopped. Now what could it be? Something to do with the mercury. The government don't want to admit it. They feel the urgency. They making laws just to cover up flaws. But that's another record, like how I was moving the raw. They say the rap game is just like the trap game. What about the parents with their kids still stuck in this fast lane? And this is for my son is autistic. I spit this. Yeah, if your kid is autistic, then gifted. We not overlooking other disorders, but learning about autism is important. For my son is autistic, I spit this. Yeah, if your kid is autistic, then gifted. We not overlooking other disorders, but learning about autism is important. It's like 1 in 45 from 3 to 17 get diagnosed with autism, and so it seems we on the verge of an epidemic. That's why I spread awareness, hoping you get it and understand how they living. It's deeper than genetics. Our kids wasn't born with it. Knowledge is half the battle. I put you on with it, gone with it, all around the globe, on the road, every show with this steady flow. Gotta let them know. Used to keep it on the low, more conscious of our privacy. Now I let them into my world, something they gotta see. And he's my inspiration, more than a fad. Proud to be a warrior dad, something I never had. And this is for my son is autistic. I spit this. Yeah, if your kid is autistic, then gifted. We not overlooking other disorders, but learning about autism is important. For my son is autistic, I spit this. Yeah, if your kid is autistic, then gifted. We not overlooking other disorders, but learning about autism is important.
Word is Bond Rap Radio. Normally play rap music on this show, but I love having discussions too. And I have I had another artist that I was going to play, and they've got a song with Young Stitch, and I misplaced it somewhere. But I found out that artist was autistic. It came out on a bio somewhere, and I messaged him, but he didn't get back to me. But messaging people on Instagram, sometimes they don't see it. If you know, I've had stuff where it's like, oh man, I'm just seeing this now. It's like a year later. So I get it. Man, we were having such a cool discussion about autism right here. My name is Chase March. C Omposed is to my right. The Mighty Rhino and Candice are on the phone line. And if you want to call or text, if you have a story, a question, anything, 519-661-3600. Once again, chasemarch.com for the podcast. This will be aired there again very shortly. I usually put the podcast up on Mondays or Tuesdays on my Patreon and then release it to the world a week later if you don't want to jump over that paywall. But if you do, I appreciate it. So everyone that does support me there, or even if you do listen to me there, I appreciate it because, you know, as artists, because I'm an artist too, we got to be able to try to make money in our art somehow, you know, get supported somehow. And I've been doing campus radio since 2008, and sometimes it's weird to just feel invisible, you know. It's like there's rappers that get celebrated all the time, and there's people that do listen to the show and respect what I do as a DJ. I've DJ'd a lot of like local hip-hop shows, like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, but the phone doesn't ring for those anymore, it seems. I don't know why, but anyway, Candice had something to say, and I had to cut her off for the commercial spots there. We got about 18 minutes left of the program, so let's fill it up with some more talk about neurodivergence. Candice.
Hey, yeah, Chase, you asked a question, sort of and it was kind of a statement as well about the drug use, and sometimes why a lot of addiction and stuff can happen with neurodivergent folks. And I guess I'll speak to it from like my own perspective and that of a mother as well, because my feeling on drug use is why and why can we fall into addiction is because in a neurotypical world, we might even not realize that we're self-medicating. Mm-hmm. The word discombobulated was used earlier around certain things like functioning, and drugs can bring a constant. So for me, cannabis, when I was 13, I didn't know that I had post-traumatic stress disorder or that I was autistic or neurodivergent like ADHD either. But what I did know was that I didn't feel right most of the time. And so when I discovered pot back then, it was something to make me feel a level of constant. And it was a familiar way to exist. And so I think, and also like peer pressure can be huge with someone who's trying to high mask and fit in socially. There's that, you know, and then dopamine. Let's go to the actual mechanics of neurodivergent brains. Our frontal lobe works differently. It's even sized differently, and we have less dopamine receptors. So we don't uptake as much dopamine doing regular, normal, everyday tasks like getting our dishes done that a neurotypical person would. And so we're always kind of searching for that little bit of dopamine hit. So addictions like food, sugar, gaming, they start really early, you know, and then that can even in the medication journey, if we don't have a medication journey, we can be supplementing and not even know it. So I guess that's kind of where I want to go with that, like the neurodivergent whatever, because I think we need to watch parents with kids with neurodivergence.
Mm-hmm. That self-medication.
I have a kid that's falling into addiction herself, and it's just because of trying to exist in the world.
Yeah. Like that idea of self-medicating in order to cope with whatever it is, whether it's that low dopamine where you only feel a sense of relief when a chore is done instead of a sense of completion. The idea that you are going to do your best to try and get yourself what you need, but you do it from a very subconscious place, so it's automatic. And so that's kind of the idea of, well, what do I do with this diagnosis once I've been self-diagnosed or professionally diagnosed? What does it mean? Why should I bother? And the answer comes down to healthy coping mechanisms. Going back through your entire life and figuring out, okay, how did I try and balance everything? Was it serving me in my authenticity? Was it actually helping me cope with what I need to do and who I need to be? Or was it in fact a distraction, or was it actually really unhealthy for me? So like in the example, there are many neurodivergent people in my life where for them, one of their huge addictions has always been caffeine from Coca-Cola. Like I have stories of friends who would drink anywhere from 2 to 5 2-liter bottles in a single day. And that's how they lived their existence for 3 to 5 years straight until they finally realized like they just couldn't keep putting that much into their body. And then they've said, well, I've cut back significantly. They still have 2 Cokes, a day in order to do whatever they need to do. So like the idea of self-medication as well as coping mechanisms, unhealthy coping mechanisms, they're rampant because we just don't realize that we're trying to fill a need. So once you realize that there is a need, then it becomes so much easier to take a step back and say, okay, how can I do this differently in a way that's actually going to help me?
Well, and then there's the fine line scenario, right? Mm-hmm. So Gabor Mate said something, and he's a Canadian doctor who also is neurodivergent, and he's world-renowned for addiction and recovery. He says that the difference between addiction and a hobby or a passion is it interfering with your life?
Yep, that's one
in
of the
a negative way. If it is impacting your life in a negative way, it's addiction. If it's impacting your life in a healthy way, it's a hobby or a passion.
I love that.
Whereas, or it could be actually healthy. Like, look, if we look at nicotine now, nicotine is a stimulant drug, right? And it's actually healthier than coffee as a component, nicotine itself.
Now, don't worry, folks. We're not recommending you go out there and put a bunch of nicotine patches on you.
No.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Let me finish, though. They're using the actual drug nicotine and, like in the same way THC and psilocybin, mushrooms and things like that. They're using these in therapeutic research settings to help people's brains. So the fact that people can naturally gravitate towards some of these things in an unhealthy way, it's kind of like that whole self-medication fine line stuff, right?
Yes, and I love that definition of the idea of how much it's impacting versus not, interfering versus not interfering in your life. And my other favorite definition of addiction has been, if you are using something to avoid sitting in a room alone by yourself, then it also has great capacity for addiction as well.
Cell phones.
Yep. But that's a great example because cell phones give us our dopamine, they give us our regulatory, they give us our community. So how much is too much and how much is too little?
Yeah, community is interesting for me too, because I was reading one of those books on autism and it said that they relied on unhealthy relationships for socialization. And it made me realize that I rely on my students for socialization. I actually wrote a song about it called June Blues, how at the end of the school year, I've had these kids and they're mine for like 10 months and now they're all gone and they run out of school. Like, school's done, it's summer, and I'm sitting in an empty classroom on a desk and I'm feeling sad now because, and I'm in a group and there's 12 of us. And I was like, I want to do this song. Does anyone want to jump on it? And nobody did because I don't think they felt the same way. So it's interesting.
It's interesting too. Like, I don't know about you, Mighty Rhino and Candice. Do you guys find that how do I want to phrase this? That you get along with kids really well, and it has to do with where they're at in their neural development. That there's something about, regardless of whether they're neurodivergent or neurotypical, they just are more open to thinking and they're more open to having crazy discussions and exploring possibilities. And it's something that allows you to connect with them and get a deeper sense of like a level 3 conversation compared to the level 1 conversations we're expected to have with other adults.
Ooh.
I have something to say to this.
We got 10 minutes left of the show, but here we go.
I'll try to be very quick. One of the things that I wanted to pick up on is the question of cognitive empathy. And for me, as someone whose life is essentially centered around tenderness, cognitive empathy is an important tool. But with regard to the question of how to feel about children and relating to children, I've been lucky in that I have a natural gift for making very young children very happy by smiling and laughing and sticking my tongue out. And I'm a 37-year-old straightish cisgender man with a dozen stuffed animals that I'm staring at that are sitting on my bookshelf. And I often will bring them places and show them to the children around me, and sometimes I'm able to win the affection of the children around me through that. But at the same time, I'm so frightened of ever hurting a child or doing anything that would cause a child to suffer that sort of inhibits my ability to function around children. And I'm always constantly worried that I'll do something that will cause them to have less than the optimal possible experience. And so that's where I stand on that. Or
worse, that people misconstrue it and they read into it in this really terrible way. And at the end of the day, we just have we have a capacity for truth, and we have a capacity for openness that simply is similar to children, and it's why we connect with them.
Their truth. Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of walk around saying I'm a child. So
I've never grown up.
The way I navigate the world is very childlike, and I hope it continues. You know, I think it's good to see the world through the eyes of a child, and the communication that kids have is very open and curious, and I think
it's genuine.
It's enthralling, I would say. I'm a pedagogue too, a teacher. I do music teaching, much like you do teaching as well. And so, though I don't teach in the public sector, I find that I do have a natural gift to relate to kids, because we don't treat them. It's not baby talk, right? It's legitimate. Deepened, like the curiosity, the learning experience that happens between both teacher and student is a beautiful thing. So I can definitely understand why you would write a tune about Chase at the end of the school year and how that would impact you, because to have that kind of, and Mighty Rhino spoke to it at the beginning of the segment about how it is, you do have a huge impact in children's lives when you're teaching them. So all of that.
And you can't teach
amazing.
And you can't teach well unless you're engaging in that cognitive empathy. You can yell at them all you want that you want to get them to do something, but unless you understand why they're not doing what they're doing, you cannot help that student. So the reality is that we have to engage in our cognitive empathy in order to problem solve. And we draw on all of our experiences as an adult and our memories of when we were children, just wanting to be understood. And we're able to do this for the kids that we influence and that we help in a way that is, how do I want to phrase this? I don't know, actually. I don't know where I was going with this. I just knew this is where I want to go.
This is sensitive. I would say sensitive to the needs of.
Yes. Thank you for finishing.
That cognitive empathy gives us that sensitivity that we need to navigate others.
This has been an amazing show. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and having this discussion. It's amazing to be able to do it in a hip hop radio show too, but it is Autism Awareness Month. Hopefully, we've been having a good discussion. We've had some text calls and things like that, but we do have to wrap things up. So let's just have some final thoughts. Anybody have some final thoughts they want to say? Maybe plug your music or where people can find you as well.
Sure. If you like the idea of finding more about mental health and exploring healthiness in relationships with self and with others, feel free to follow Women Rock for Men's Mental Health. It's a volunteer organization I started a few years ago in response to a bunch of trauma, and it's a good source for both men and women healing themselves and working on themselves. The other thing I just want to quickly add, not only is it Autism Awareness Month, it's Autism Acceptance Month.
Nice.
Acceptance. Yeah, I mean, I'm easy to find. Personally, I'm kind of a public figure, so I'll say my name. It's Candice Lubick, Lubick. Come find me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I am mostly a live audio production person right now, engineer, and but I'm in production with a couple original songs, and you can find me on Trinity on YouTube, trinityonahail.ca, if you want to find me playing in a community church service. But I also have a podcast, and it's called The Patient's Perspective.
And Mighty Rhino.
Yes, indeed. The Mighty Rhino, 3 words, spelled like you would expect. I have an artist page on Facebook under that name, but I have no objection at all to being added randomly by people I don't know on Facebook, and my given name is Noah, Noah, Goodbaum, Godbaum. You can find me under that name, or if you want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, or what used to be called Twitter, or TikTok, my name on there is the same in all 3 cases. It's at JohnKhanThedon, John Khan the Don. That's one of my 10 or 15 rap aliases, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'd be absolutely delighted. If you have to pick a single rap album of mine to listen to first, I would go with the most recent solo album, which is called To Relieve the Sorrow-Laden Heart. But I'm very proud of all my music, and I'm happy to share my work. There's a song that's only available on YouTube called Company Policy that is my best known and best loved song. I recommend that one highly as well. And I'm working on my 5th official solo album and 7th project overall. So anyone who cares about great rap music, I would be so delighted if you took an interest in mine. And I'm always happy to share and engage with other artists of whatever genre, and to make friends, really. I'm delighted to get to know people. So by all means, reach out, and it's an honor and a pleasure and a delight.
Thanks for coming on. And if you get me your album early, we can world premiere some stuff and have a discussion more about the music and about the artistry of the Mighty Rhino. Let's do that.
I'd be honored, Chase, and I know very little about your rap career, and I'd love to know more. So please, let's follow up.
All right, Be Composed, you sent me a song, so maybe we'll close off with that.
Oh, dear. All right, sounds lovely.
It's been a joy to speak to you this evening, and Candice, a great joy to meet you. I'm genuinely delighted and honored. It's a joy.
You too. Also, Noah and Candice, looking forward to keeping up our mental health chats on the side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me join in. That sounds cool. All right. Thanks. Have a good night, everybody. Word is Bond Rap Radio, chasemarch.com. If you missed any of this and you want to hear it again, I'll be posting it on my Patreon on Monday or Tuesday, and then it'll be on my website shortly after that. So keep it locked, chasemarch.com. And I'll be back Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on 94.9 FM Radio Western, spinning some underground boom bap. That's what I like to spin. We'll be doing that again soon. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.
Grabbing my hair, and yes, you can taste me there. You know I'll meet you anywhere, and to get here, had to go through all those barriers. Had to show me you can care, and you'll only take what I give you. So go ahead and call me in the middle of the night, 'cause up until now you've been doing things right. I'ma get me bothered in the middle of the night. You ain't ready for this. I touch you, you hold me down, but you don't hold me back. I'm reaching for the clouds, so you help me get to black. If trouble. When you give me those dark eyes, you know I'll give you my loudest sighs. Can't suck you dry, but I'ma try. Had to get here, had to go through all those barriers. Had to show me you can care and you'll only take what I give you. So go ahead and call me in the middle of the night, 'cause up until now you've been doing things right. I'ma get me bothered in the middle of the night. Are you ready for this? I touch you, you hold me down, but you don't hold me back. I'm reaching for the clouds, so you help me get to black. It's amazing what I will do, and yes means yes, so I'll give you the world. I'll never live to regret it. Give me that smile, and I'll stay green. Flip the script, and you'll scream back. You'll see a fellow, and I'll say YOLO, unless we can bring him back. You touch me, and I hold you down. We're reaching for the clouds, so you let me go slack. You touch me and I hold you down, but I don't hold you back. We're reaching for the clouds, so you help me get to black. It's amazing what I will do, and yes means yes, so I'll give you the world. And I'll never live to regret it. You touch me and I hold you down. We're reaching for the clouds. It's amazing what we will do, and yes means yes, so I'll give you the world. And I'll never live to regret it. I'll give you my world, and I'll never regret it.
Hello, I'm Gary.
And I'm Barb.
We grew up listening to Radio Western and always dreamed of having our own show. Well, now we do.
It's called the Father to Son Indie Music Show.
We play music from London, across Canada, and other places too.
We'll also tell you who's playing around town so you can go out and support the local music scene.
So superglue your dial to 94.9 FM and tune in every Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. on your Radio Western.
The best radio station in the world.
The music of Hans Zimmer is coming to Centennial Hall on April 20th for a night of swelling symphonies. Dive into the iconic scores of your favorite movies, including Pirates of the Caribbean, Interstellar, The Lion King, and more. Played by the Hollywood Film Orchestra and paired with film sequences, illumination, and laser projections. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours today by visiting centennialhall.london.ca.
This is Eric Scarfoni from On the Eric, and you're listening to 94.9 Radio Western.